Hi everyone, this is the case presentation for the course IRE260 at the University of Toronto. We are going to analyze a classical case about management called Henry Tam and the MGI Team.
In late January of 2002, Henry Tam, a student in the MBA program at Harvard Business School, had teamed with HBS classmates Dana Somin and the founders of startup company Music Games International to enter the school's annual business plan contest. The MGI founders include one HBS alumni and two professional composers, and they later brought two additional students from other institutions onto the team, creating a cross-functional team with diverse views and talents. Their product is a CD-ROM music game that children enjoyed playing while learning about music. The first edition of the game was a critical success but a commercial failure, therefore leading the MGI founders to seek assistance from the contest. However, as the deadline approached, their progress on the business plan had been quite slow because of the conflict between them. The major issue was about the target market for the product. While Henry and Dana thought they should focus on gaining a foothold in the education market, the MGI founders wanted to go after the larger and more competitive entertainment market. With the final business plan due in less than 3 weeks, Henry decided to find a way to pull the team together and salvage the situation. Henry Tam is an HBS student who was halfway through his final semester in MBA program. Being anxious to test his own capabilities, he decided to enter the school's business plan contest. His background in business development and media had helped him to group with MGI founders. Henry is a person of high conscientiousness. Every time he came to the meeting, he brought in written materials with stacks of information. Also, he is highly emotionally stable. While others criticize him, he will stay calm and confident and communicate his idea effectively. Dana Soiman is also an HBS student who was in her second year. She had an investment banking background that just fit the MGI's most crucial need, and most importantly, she was very enthusiastic about the product, thus while contributing great effort to the project plan. Igor Tekenko is a Russian musician immigrated from former Soviet Union. He founded the MGI company with two of his friends in early 2000. Having excellent musical talent and creativity, Igor had made great attribution to the idea and development of their product. He is also friendly and approachable. Another founder of MGI had described him as the father that holds the company together. When the HBS students felt that they were underestimated, Igor kept encouraging them and saying that we really need you guys. Alexander Gimpelson, also named Sasha, is another founder of MGI, and unlike Igor, it's safe to say that Sasha was pretty hard to work with. He was poor in interpersonal skills and had low agreeableness. He just said whatever he meant without thinking about the consequence. Although he was also immigrated from former Soviet Union, he refused Igor and Roman's request to communicate in Russian with them. On the other side, as an HBS graduate, Sasha played an important role in business stuffs before their collaboration with HBS students. Yet he felt that HBS only provided him with general management skills rather than marketing. Hence, the first product version didn't succeed commercially. The last MGI founder is Roman Yakub, a composer who immigrated from the former Soviet Union as well. Similar to Igor, he was mainly responsible for providing musical skills, and he came up with the initial idea of the music puzzle, which was the basis of their product, showing that he got lots of creative ideas. Alex Sartakov is a student at Boston's Berklee College of Music with a dual major in music business management and music production and engineering. Dave Clark is an MIT graduate student with software development experience. Alex and Dave were brought into the group at the second and the third meeting. Both of them took a subdued role and seldom expressed their opinion until others needed. In conclusion, the group shows great diversity in cultural backgrounds, spoken languages, educational backgrounds, field of expertise, and social status, and relatively low in cohesiveness, which closely related to the key issues that we are going to discuss later.
Obviously, something was going wrong within the team, and such obstacle hinders the progress of the project and the smooth operation of the team. Please allow me to point out some of the key issues of the team, and I will incorporate my analysis with the relevant theories and concepts from the textbook. First of all, the group lacks a common goal. A group contains two or more people, which aims at achieving a common goal by independent interactions, and the main purpose of a group is accomplishing common goals through group effort. The group members have diverse opinions regarding the target of the music product. The MGI founders had thought of their music puzzle primarily as an entertainment product. But Henry was doing a lot of work on the education market. He considered the product has its best audience as teachers. The reason for Sasha and Igor is opposite to Henry's opinion is that they have discussed the education market before at length, and they thought the market isn't large enough. They thought music is at the bottom of a school's priority list, and even when Henry provides Sasha with figures about the market, Sasha didn't believe the figures at all. He thought the education numbers were shaky. Secondly, it seems that the group lacked an effective leadership. There's no leader with seniority in the team to handle the decision-making process and uniting the team members. From Dave's point of view, Henry was the leader in the field of writing the business plan, and Sasha was the leader under other conditions. And Dana agreed that there was no clear leader. She recalled that whoever had the most energy at the time provided leadership. But that's not how leadership works. Leadership is about motivating people and gaining their commitment. And strategic leadership refers to a leader's ability to anticipate, envision, maintain flexibility, think strategically, and work with others to initiate changes that will create a viable future for the organization. However, such leadership is non-existent in the team. Also, the communication among group members are inefficient and ineffective. The ineffective communication is evidenced by their slow progress through weekly meetings. During the second and third meetings, most of the team members were more comfortable with brainstorming, which they had always done, and few decisions have been finalized. As recalled by Henry, he worried that the meetings have become too long and unimaginable, and that they were not accomplishing anything. The inefficiency also exists. The meeting is more efficient when the team members are able to handle one specific issue and resolve it during each meeting. For example, we can do one meeting for the direction of the company, one meeting for the operation of the company, and so on. However, that's not the case in this team. As a technician, Dave has collaborated in separate sessions with Sasha and Igor on the technical aspect of the product design and on the patent application. But he took a more subdued role during the group meetings at HBS, instead of elaborating his work on the technology part of the product. The meetings become endless battles between Sasha and Dana. Lastly, the ways that the group members dealt with conflict seems to be inappropriate. There are several aspects of conflicts within the group. One of the conflicts is the relationship conflict, which is the interpersonal tensions among individuals that have to do with their relationship per se, not the task at hand. And there's a relationship conflict between Sasha and Dana. As recalled by Henry, Dana and Sasha had this strong personality clash. The other one is the task conflict, which refers to the disagreements about the nature of the work to be done, such as differences of opinion about goals or technical matters. There's a task conflict between Dana and the musicians, Roman and Igor. Dana is willing to hold formal meetings and think in a broad, financially way, making the business plan clear to the investors, while the musicians stake on the creativity of the product. And there are multiple ways to handle the conflict depending on the power of the parties and the severity of the conflict. As from my opinion, the major styles they managed the conflict were avoiding and competing. The avoiding is evidenced by the fact that they are always brainstorming, regardless of the urgent problems of the team. For example, Sasha and Dana didn't get along with each other. The key is to resolve the friction between them to maximize the effectiveness of the communication, and brainstorming is not likely to incur further conflict, since everyone is giving new ideas. However, it doesn't resolve the existing as well. Giving brainstorming is somehow a sign of avoidance to face real underlying conflict among the team members. The evidence of competing is that during the third meeting, Henry and Dana had arrived at the meeting prepared with a PowerPoint presentation that summarized the work they had done so far, and Sasha also presented his work. The result is that almost all the team members find the HBS team's ideas deliberate and ignore Sasha's ideas. As a result, Sasha found this ignorance frustrated, and such presentation is more like a win-lose condition. Now we are going to analyze the key issues of the team and what are their causes and consequences. The first is the lack of common goal. The reason of lacking common goal is complex. One of the reasons might be the deep diversity in attitudes toward work or how to accomplish a goal within the team, and which can badly damage cohesiveness. As an evidence, Harry considered the group to be less cohesive as he originally thought. The way that Dana and Harry think about the project is more financially and rationally. They aimed at proposing a clear business plan to the investor, but the musicians pay more attention on the creativity part of the project. Such attitudes toward work and how to accomplish a goal is too diverse to reach a consensus. And other reasons might be the diverse backgrounds of the team members. Igor and Roman are experts on music, which had won several awards in composing. They have little knowledge on business. But contrastly, Harry and Dana are specializing in business. They know how to write an attractive business plan, attract investors, but know little about music, with Harry not even know how to play an instrument. Different background of specialized expertise would guide their goal towards different directions. A common goal is really important for a group, because a group serves the function to interact interdependently to achieve a common goal. Without such goal, the team will lack the direction of effort. And the importance of a common goal has some empirical support. A cross-cultural study found that cooperative but not competitive or independent goals help employees and their foreign managers develop a quality leader-member exchange relationship, which in turn can improve leader effectiveness. One of the reasons that the group find difficult to establish effective leadership might be the over-diversity of the team members. They come from different countries, speak different languages, have different educational backgrounds, expertise in different areas, and have different status. Status is the rank or social position according to group members in terms of prominence, prestige, and respect. Sasha has a high status in the group, since he has already graduated from Harvard Business School for a long time and had work experience of running a business. But Henry and Dana are still HBS candidates, lacking much work experience. Other team members, Igor, Roman, Dave, and Alex, all have work experience in their field. Obviously, Harry and Dana are low in seniority and status. Status differences have a paradoxical effect on communication patterns. Most people like to communicate with others at their own status or higher, rather than with people who are below them. That's the reason why Sasha considered Henry and Dana as intern, rather than leader in writing the business plan, even though Henry proposed a lot of great ideas and tried his best to organize each meeting. The diversity in specialization also contributes to the absence of effective leadership. Since Henry barely knew music, his idea is hard to understand and internalized by the musicians. But motivating others is a key aspect of effective leadership. Similarly, Igor and Roman barely knew about business. Harry and Dana would be reluctant to accept their purposeless chase of creativity, while ignoring the more practical part of the business plan, such as how to attract the investors. Such differences make none of them being elected as the group leader. The effective leadership is crucial to the success of the organization. Effective leadership exerts influence in a way that achieves organization goals by enhancing the productivity, innovation, satisfaction, and commitment of the workforce. Effective leaders can change the way people think, feel, and behave, and they can have a positive effect on individuals, groups, units, and even entire organizations. Absence of effective leadership can be catastrophic. For example, a research indicated that poor leadership among senior medical staff and hospital management was at the heart of recent failings in the NHS in England and Scotland. The absence of effective leadership could also lead to role conflict, because there's not a single leader to assign a role to each group member. Sasha saw Henry and Dana's role as business plan writers, and Igor primarily needed Henry and Dana for the help with vision and strategy. It incurs so-called inter-sender role conflict, in which two or more role senders provide a role occupant with incompatible expectations. The difficulty in communication within the group could be due to cultural differences and inappropriate group development strategies. Different cultures differ in language, etiquette, and politeness, social conventions, and cultural context. There are high and low context cultures. In high context culture, the message contained in communication is strongly influenced by the context in which the message is sent, and literal interpretations are often incorrect. People from high context cultures want to know about you and the company that you represent in a great detail. This information provides a context for understanding your messages to them. Getting to point quickly is not a style of communication that people in high context cultures favor, and longer presentations and meetings allow people to get to know one another and to consider a proposal in a series of stages. Igor and Roman come from Russia, a country with high context culture. In contrast, Sasha is more influenced by American culture, an example of low context culture, as well as Henry and Dana, who studied in Harvard. American negotiators show that the Americans were more time impatient, leading to lower negotiation outcomes. And Dave had realized the cultural differences associated with behavioral differences of the team members. For example, he recalled that Roman might say, okay, we will do it your way, but then come back to his point. It's not possible to interpret Roman's opinion accurately without knowing the cultural context of Russia. Therefore, communication is also not possible, neither effective or efficient. We will give a solution of how to resolve the ineffective communication due to cultural differences later. And, as indicated by the case, they are a group with a deadline to submit the business plan. Here where the punctuated equilibrium model kicks in, partially explain the reason of ineffective and inefficient communication. The model purposes that when groups have a specific deadline by which to complete some problem-solving task, we are often observe a very different development sequence from normal process, including forming, storming, norming, performing, and joining. The stability of the group is significantly affected by their first meetings and crucial midpoint transitions. Phase 1 begins with the first meeting and continues until the midpoint in the group's existence. Assumptions, approaches, and precedents that members develop in the first meeting end up dominating the first half of the group's life. And it's suggested that do not look for radical progress during Phase 1. But in this case, it seems that Harry and Dana were in a rush to get some progress. As by Harry, Dana and I wanted to get the expectations established during the first meeting. It would lead to the ignorance of the process of knowing each other thoroughly, and subsequently contribute to ineffective communication. We would give suggestions for them to appropriately handle the problems arising from Phase 1 and the midpoint transition later. Now, we are going to analyze the conflict management of the group. While talking about the conflict, we know that conflict is a process that occurs when one person, group, or organization subunits frustrates the goal attainment of another, often involve antagonistic attitudes and behaviors. Conflict is obvious in this team, especially between Dana and Sasha. As Roman recalled, Sasha and Dana had negative chemistry. They didn't work very well together. There was a lot of friction between them. Whatever Dana said, Sasha didn't agree, and whatever Sasha said, Dana dismissed. One of the reasons of such conflict might be the integral bias. Sasha is the founder of MGI Team, and Dana joined the team later. Since Sasha, Roman, and Igor share similar background and experiences, it's likely for them to perceive Dana as out-group member even though they are in the same team now. Another reason might be the interdependence. The completion of the business plan relies on the effort of all team members here, with Dana and Harry as a necessary condition to participate in the Harvard case contest, and the musician's creativity to improve the app, and Dave's technology background to deal with the technical issue. A research shows that when individual or subunits are mutually dependent on each other to accomplish their own goals, the potential for conflict exists. The ambiguity of the task is another contributor. Because of lack of common goal and effective leadership we have mentioned earlier, ambiguity arises. There is no clear task assignment, even though Harry tried his best to bring something to discuss for each meeting. Additionally, their use of inappropriate conflict management style deteriorates the conflict. For example, Dave is using avoidance to deal with the conflict. He admitted that his style was very incompatible with the MGI founders, but he usually sat there with nothing to say. And why Dana and Henry wanted to establish a process for choosing one alternative out of 8 or 10 divergent visions. Other group members just kept brainstorming, raising lots of ideas, and wanted to pursue all possible avenues. Avoiding is somehow like hiding one's head in the sand, which characterized by low assertiveness of one's own interests and low cooperation with the other party. Although avoidance can provide some short-term stress reduction from rigors of conflict, it does not really change the situation. That's the reason for their limited effectiveness to reach our consensus. A preferred alternative of conflict management style will be discussed later.
Just like what we have mentioned, the group members' use of conflict management are not effective and worsen the conflict even more. Therefore, we provided with an alternative option that is prone to manage the conflict properly, that is, using the collaborating mode, which need the group members to maximize both assertiveness and cooperation. Theoretically, collaboration works best when the conflict is not intense and when each party has information that is useful to the other. In our case, although MGI founders can't agree with Henry and Dana's focus on education market, the conflict wasn't that intense since Igor, Sasha, and Roman all started to recognize their ability in business and respect the effort they've made to the plan. Also, the reason of using collaborating strategy is that each group member actually holds useful information towards the business plan completion. For example, Igor and Roman have much knowledge about music, especially composing. Henry and Dana knew how to run a business and how to deal with the investor and the market. Each of them is irreplaceable member of the team. Moreover, despite of their disagreements, they all shared the same goal, which was to win the business plan contest and make their product a great success, and each of their ability and contribution were crucial parts for this goal to be accomplished. Hence, they should use collaboration to put on a win-win resolution. Since this group had a deadline approaching, their group development can be well explained by Connie's punctuated equilibrium model. According to the model, they've experienced phase 1 where they gained little progress, and now they move on to the midpoint transition, in which they have to change their approach for progress to occur. The changes made in midpoint transition will directly affect the outcomes of phase 2. So here we have provided several recommendations that might help them figure out the problems. Firstly, since it is a cross-functional team, based on the Mustang examples from White and Series, there are some principles that cross-functional teams should follow to make their work more effective. There are at least 3 of the principles that this group didn't manage to follow. The first one is composition. Although the group did contain all relevant specialities, they seem to overlook some of their group members. For instance, Sasha's presentation for the third meeting was ignored, which made him feel that his effort were being wasted. Therefore, the group members should respect each individual's contribution to maximize their total achievement. Another deficiency of the group is that they don't have even basic rules and procedures. Group members tended to brainstorm throughout the whole meeting. This unorganized procedure had led the team to make little progress. Thus, they should together set out some rules and procedure plan, such as making decisions on the general structure before a certain date. Finally, they apparently don't have a clear leader to handle conflict, which is common in cross-functional teams. Therefore, we suggest that the team should set up a formal leader. In fact, a lot of their issues were due to the lack of leadership, as we discussed before. And among all group members, we believe that Henry is the most appropriate person to become the leader during the contest. The picture here provides a list of traits that have been found to be related to effective leadership. Henry seemed to possess most of the mentioned traits than others. For example, as we mentioned before, Henry is very confident and has high emotional stability. Even when Sasha and Igor criticize his opinion, he could stay calm and rational. Hence, he can effectively communicate his ideas with others without causing any conflict. Also, Henry was currently in great need for achievement. Due to the internet crash in 2002, Henry felt a lot of insecurity and started to question his own capabilities. Therefore, he joined the business plan contest with intent to prove himself. That's why he chose to work with MGI teams rather than the weight management program he met before, which only need a little polish from him. Although Henry is younger than the founders of MGI, his ambition to make a great product was not less than any of them. And most importantly, Henry knows better than the founders on how to write a successful business plan, which is their key goal in current situation. Secondly, this group had a diverse membership varying their cultural and educational backgrounds. As regard to their ethnic origin difference, we do see some stereotype and intergroup bias among them. One way to solve this problem is to implement a diversity program, which aims to manage the diverse workforce to generate a positive effect on the company. One of the activities that might help the MGI team mostly is to train people to be aware of stereotypes and to value diversity, so that stereotypes will decrease and conflicts are less likely to occur. Despite these surface diversity, such as age, gender, and race, a more detrimental one is deep diversity in attitudes at work, such as the debating between the MGI founders and HBS students on the target market for product right now. Since both sides insisted on their own points and refused to listen to each other, it's better to introduce a third person to express his own thoughts. Alex will be the best choice. He studied both music and business management. Therefore, he would know how to achieve a balance between them. He shared a native language and ethnic origin with MGI founders, while simultaneously he was closer in age to Henry and Dana, so he could become a mediator between them, and hopefully they could come up with a best compromise that satisfies everyone. Ideally, if the group took the above recommendations, Henry will become the leader of the team and set up rules and procedures to make further progress. They would come up with a compromise resolution with the help from Alex so that they can truly collaborate with each other. However, it's possible that they still couldn't find a way to balance their ideas, and they will need to make a decision between targeting education market and entertaining market. In that situation, I think they should choose to focus on education market for several reasons. First of all, the three founders of MGI didn't know much about business and how to do marketing, while Henry and Dana were much better at producing a good business plan. Also, Henry and Dana had prepared a lot for this project and therefore won the respect from the MGI teams, so it's easier for the MGI founders to compromise.
Just like what we have mentioned before, the group members' use of conflict management mode is not effective and worsen the conflict even more. Therefore, we provided with an alternative option that might manage the conflict properly, which is using the collaborating mode, which needs the group members to maximize both assertiveness and cooperation of each other. Theoretically, collaboration works best when the conflict is not intense and when each party has information that's useful to the other. In our case, although MGI founders can't agree with Henry and Dana's focus on education market, the conflict wasn't that intense since Igor, Sasha, and Roman all started to recognize their ability in business and respect the effort they have made to the plan. Also, the reason of using collaborating strategy is that each group member actually holds useful information towards the business plan completion. For example, Igor and Roman have much knowledge about music, especially composing. Henry and Dana knew how to run a business and how to deal with the investor and the market. Each of them is an irreplaceable member of the team. Moreover, despite of their disagreements, they all shared the superior same goal, which was to win the business plan contest and make their product a great success. And each of their ability and contribution were crucial parts for this goal to be accomplished. Hence, they should use collaboration to put on a win-win resolution. Besides the analysis of the organizational behaviors in the team, there's a few things worth discussing, such as the video game industry and the advantage of learning music. Video games is a growing industry, and music plays an important role in it, either by advertisement, background music, or soundtracks. MGI, as an organization, its virtual goal is survival. In other words, making profit is really important. So far, for many musicians, the best way to make money from video games is to license songs. Igor and Roman can consider cooperating with large video game companies to license the song that they compose, so that every time when someone plays the games, they will be able to get a commission of the music. The other issue I would like to discuss is the potential of the children's music market. There are several advantages of learning music during one's childhood. For example, music helps children's literacy and communication skills. When a child learns a new song and begins to sing it with another children, they will improve their literacy and develop a greater understanding of the meaning of specific words. Music is also helpful to improve their communication skills. Music games can give children self-confidence and social skills. The children can gain a lot of self-confidence by successfully participating in music games. They discover that they can sing and become confident about using their voice to communicate with others. And music games can also improve the social skills of children and encourage them to participate in group events. I think the team is capable of entering this market because Igor has experience with teaching children and Roman had ideas about teaching music and also has music connections in Russia. Together with Henry's attempt to explore the educational field, I think this is a direction of the team worth considering. In conclusion, the team was high in membership diversity. However, the diversity has contributed to several key issues that negatively affect the operation of the team, including lack of effective leadership and common goal, low efficiency and effectiveness in communication, inappropriate conflict management modes. As from our suggestions, the team could facilitate the smooth operation through several approaches. The crucial parts are recognizing the cultural differences, establish effective leadership, and changing conflict management mode. Educational market is a worthwhile focus of the product development, as the advantage of learning music by children has some empirical support. Overall, the use of proper management methods tailored to the composition of the team is the key to the success of an organization and its products.